have reached. Area code 313.
All my live niggas in the 313.
Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. So sorry. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. So sorry. Oh man, I had some real bad technical difficulties. I'm sorry for starting so late. Didn't mean to do that. Got some other things I need to do too, just as well. Hey, but if you check me out, you hear you with me, like to welcome to another edition of No Fan Sports Podcast. I'm your host. I go by New. It's real simple, NEW. Oh my goodness. These things be, it was more difficult to do this. I had at the last minute, I just had some things that, that I don't know why my computer was shutting down. I really understand that. It didn't make much sense to me. I can't find this on the what's the name. Anyway, like I said, I'm your host, man. I go by New. Just real simple, NEW. And shout out to my man DJ Los, man. Appreciate you, bruh. It's one of our world-renowned DJ Los, local legend. As well. Appreciate you. Beats by the pounds. So let's get started. Sorry I started late. Like I said, I just had, some little technical difficulties. Let's get these disclaimers and different things out the way, man. And we listen here. I say this every time, man. Get over there on I think it's No Fan. What's the sport? Okay, let me. I'm gonna give you the exact page. It's no fan underscore fan groupie slappy. It's a Facebook page. You go through there, you should be able to catch them. Catch those that like that mission statement, because I'm probably gonna piss some people off today. Okay, it was a Wildcard weekend, and what we had expected to be something. I expected to be great and very exciting, and we got a few eggs that was laid. Matter of fact, quite a few eggs that was laid, including my own team I rock with, my Cowboys. Man, they laid a big egg. We're gonna talk about that too. Congratulations to the Detroit Lions and all the other teams. Oh, really too, the Houston Texans. Oh my goodness, that dude CJ Stroud playing out of his mind. I think he only threw 5 picks for the beginning. What are you at? Here we go. No Fan Sports Podcast is providing this podcast as a public service, but it is neither a legal interpretation nor a statement of No Fan Sports Podcast policy. Reference to any specific product or any entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by No Fan Sports Podcast. The views expressed by guests are their own, and the appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of any of them or any entity that they represent. Views and opinions expressed by myself are those of my own and do not necessarily reflect the view of No Fan Sports Podcast or any of its officials. Fair use. We're going to do this disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under the Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, and scholarship and research. Fair use is fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. And like I said, man, you get a chance, you get over there and check out that mission statement. And we're going to go through it real quick. It's no fan. It's like I said, we're going to start off. The definition is an enthusiast, a devotee, ardent admirer, or enthusiast of as of a celebrity or pursuant. Also, the groupie is a fan of music group or follows a group or concert tours, a fan of an athlete or celebrity. And a slappy is just stupid, moronic person. Okay. No fan is a fan groupie slappy free zone. Y'all got to remember that. And you know, some you have to remember that. No fan, no groupie slappy free zone. We here, no fan, are dedicated not to just analytics, metrics, and statistics. Listen to that are part of any given sport, but also the non-measurables that can't and doesn't get recognition on a stat sheet. Things like heart, mental tenacity, drive, and hunger, etc., as well as being able to understand the difference between athleticism and actual skills and fundamentals. Instead of being caught up like a deer in the highlights, like most of you are, as you all over his or her physical gifts from above. Yeah, that's fan talk. No, we don't do that. We speak of X's and O's that many of you mistake for hate. And I go over this time and time again for a reason. I don't know if many, a lot of folks, I don't know. You can't really define yourself. It's hard to find yourself as a definition as a fan or a groupie or just a slappy, or you just love the sports team or individual that you do love. I said this before too. When I started doing these podcasts, man, a long time ago, one of the reasons why I started doing it is because I wanted to have some intelligent stuff talk, dialogue, without all the fanfare, the groupie stuff, the sloppy stuff, and that's what this is about. Like I said, we're not just talking about the stuff you can put on stat sheets. We're talking about things that, like I tell you, I got a sixth sense. I see dead people. I see real stuff. I see that stuff, the stuff that y'all don't want to talk about, the stuff that y'all want to overlook, the stuff that I got an inbox full. I got a Facebook line full, my timeline loaded with zillion and one support. It's just me, so I couldn't really say nothing because I just been on there typing and on there just typing and typing for days because I got bombarded by it. I mean, what my man just said, cannons to the left of me, haters to the right of me. I mean, it was just all over the place. I don't mind it. For those of you who know me, and those of you know me personally, I talk it, I walk it, I talk it. I have no problem. So you can come. My team took a fat L, and I don't have any problems with that. Well, no, I do have a problem with it because we go discuss that too. Because I go through some details, and it's not no excuses. We just go talk about what took place. And I mean, and actually, over the whole weekend, the weekend was a wash. If you really look at it, we had teams, and I gave my little predictions or whatever. We had teams that was expected to show up, and they didn't show up for some odd reason. Can't figure that out. Don't know. These type of things happen. You had some teams that was expected to, for instance, Dallas Cowboys. That's who I rock with. Was expected. I mean, they at home, number 2 seed in the NFC, and they laid one of the biggest eggs ever, and at this particular stage of the game, it was so. It was what it was. What was it? I don't want to say it was devastating. It wasn't really, kind of shocking. Yes, disappointing. But it just didn't make any sense. It's been a while since they've been, to the big dance or what have you and all that, had no problems with that. But it was, wasn't, and like I said, it wasn't just them either. We were expecting the Cleveland Browns to go through the Texans. The Texans is playing with a rookie head coach, a rookie starting quarterback in Cleveland. I think they had the number 1 defense in the NFL, or at least in the AFC. However it go, we was expecting them. We was expecting a lot more from them, but they laid an egg. They ended up getting beat 45-14. by by the Houston Texans. And my man CJ Stroud, former Buckeye, um, had an outstanding season, man. Hands down, should be rookie of the year. I don't even think it's even in any anybody even close to this young man. He's starting quarterback of the Houston Texans, fresh rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, and they went in there and manhandled the Cleveland Browns, which everybody was expecting. And I picked Cleveland. I thought they was gonna come away with that, and they failed. Also, we well, only team that really, that I did pick that kind of just stood up, and which many I think expected anyway was the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if Miami was bothered by that weather and all, but they shouldn't have been because my man Tyreek Hill used to be a Kansas. He used to be a Chief, But I think with that particular game, I think they got out coached. I think it was his name McDaniel, whatever his name is. I when I watch him and I look at him, most of the time you see these coaches, man, whether they can really whoop you or not, man, they just look more like, I don't want to say something nothing negative about him, maybe look more manly or whatever. But he got out coached. Andy Reid just handed it to him, and Dolphins fell short. Then we had the Sundays again. That was a Saturday game. Then Sunday we had a Cowboys. Packers blew them out. I mean, and the score is not indicative of how the game took place. The ending score ended up 48-32. But when we talking about eggs that was laid, oh my goodness, I don't understand it. I truly don't understand it. How could you be that inept? Had a week or so off. You had Green Bay coming in, and mind you, I forget the gentleman's name. I gotta start getting these names on some of these coaches too. But right now the Green Bay coach looking pretty good. Aaron Rodgers is no longer Green Bay. They playing with a lot of rookies over there. And they gave Dallas the business, And I'm gonna get into it a little bit more on how that took place too. Then we had the 8:00 game was the Rams against the Lions, and that was like a great story because you had a former quarterbacks, they flip-flop quarterbacks and different things. So you had Jared Goff, former quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams, and Matthew Stafford used to be the quarterback. He was 12 seasons with the Detroit Lions. Hadn't taken the Lions anywhere close to what Jared has done in the short time that he's been here. And I say, it's funny thing about that too. I've never was really a big Matthew Stafford fan. Matter of fact, we ran into a gentleman nicknamed Stats Pad for, he's the fastest guy to 40,000 yards, but he did jack, with the Detroit Lions. Didn't take him there. We got Goff over here. Goff didn't turn the team or help turn the team around and got them on the, in the runnings, strong potential. Look, they looking pretty good, but it was a great game, and it was back and forth. I don't want to say a big shootout, but it started. I mean, it seemed like it was turning into a shootout or what have you. And Matthew almost came back and spoiled the day. He didn't take the Lions, nowhere while he was here. Then he messed around and almost spoiled spoiled the coming out party. That's where that Bobby Layne curse comes. Is finally, I think, is it off? It seemed like it should be. Lions are playing well right now. And that was 23-24. And then you had that dud. you had the dud Monday in the Steelers, man. I think not exactly sure what they go do. I know that Tomlinson walked out on an interview. Question was asked whether he was going to be there. I don't never really see Pittsburgh Steelers head coaches jobs like in jeopardy. The Steelers organization, and I said this before, the Steelers organization has been very, very how shall I say? The Steelers organization, they stand-up organization. They the one who came up with the Rooney Rule. They came up with the Rooney Rule, put it together. And in my lifetime, they've only had 3 coaches that I know of. Chuck Noll, my man Bill Cowher, and now they got Tomlinson over there, and they was and some folks was actually questioning him, man, like, was he gonna be there and thinking his job, but I don't see Pittsburgh firing him, and I truly don't see him leaving. Like I said, that's one of the most stand-up organizations, you have to admit, within the NFL. Three coaches compared to, I don't know how many coaches, they in and out, in and out, in and out, but you think of an organization, like I said, they've only had three coaches in my lifetime. I have to look them up and see if they had site before that. But like I said, Chuck Noll, and Tomlinson. But they laid there. They didn't look too good. I think they drafted that quarterback that came from the University of Pittsburgh, and he's not really panning out. So they're having some quarterbacking issues. And because they were in the playoff, I don't even know if they can get into the quarterback sweepstakes, because my man Caleb Williams announced that he was, he's entering the draft. And right now, I think he's number one on everybody's board. So, and I'm finna tell you, I'll tell you this right now. I do wish the Cowboys could find a way to, get in those sweepstakes as well. I truly do. And then the final game, another egg. The Eagles at one time was battling. They were neck and neck with San Francisco as far as the number one seed. Potentially the number one team, best record in the NFC. And they lost, I think, 5 of their last 6, and then they came into this playoff, man, and laid a hell of an egg. I do believe Jalen Hurts been dealing with some injury issues or whatever throughout the season. That may have, a little bit to do with it. I'm sure it is. Secondary was getting torched. They just didn't look good, man. And the Buccaneers, a 9-8 team, man. My man Todd Bowles to turn the team around. You got Baker Mayfield. I think this was his 10th team he didn't play for. He's the quarterback over there. And they handed it to him. They handed it to the Eagles. So, going into next week, next week, you got Texas Ravens, Packers, 49ers, Buccaneers and Lions, and Chiefs and Bills. But like I said, getting back to the Cowboys, I, like I said, I got I have so many some people just attack. I have no problems with it. I can take it. I'm good. I'm a big boy. I can handle all of the stuff, the stuff talk, because I talk a lot of smack. Born and raised in Detroit on the corner of Tuxedo and Webb. This is what we do. This is what I do. And I'm not gonna make no excuses, but I'm just gonna be totally honest with you, And I had this conversation with someone else. They finally got in touch with me. You wanted to do the ha ha ha. I told you so. I told you so. I got a lot of those. And let me say this for you all, seriously, all jokes aside. It is no way you can compare the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys as far as an organization. Okay? This apples and oranges. Apples and oranges. It's no comparison. It's no comparison whatsoever, But for some reason, you get a lot of Detroiters that feel the need to do so. And there's no comparison as far as that's concerned. Until you get 5 Lombardis or better in your closet, then you may be able to have that conversation. But right now, the only people that can have those type of conversations is the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New England Patriots, and the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, that's what 22 Super Bowl Lombardis between them 4 franchises. Okay, so let's stop there. But to get back to the Cowboys, wait a minute, what is it? What did you say, Reggie? Thank you for the feedback on the Steelers. Very well said. Oh yeah, I don't think they're gonna be able to get up there, bro. I truly don't think they're gonna be able to get up there. They're gonna have to do some wheeling and dealing going on, man. And and you know what? I ain't gonna say it's not possible, but it may be possible, because to me, the Chicago Bears has the number 1 pick, and I like Justin Fields. I just think he needs some help around him. I mean, Chicago got rid of Khalil Mack and my man Roquan Smith. They was dropping players, and I just didn't think they put the right pieces around him. So I would stick with him. I had no problems with Justin Fields. So if I was a Chicago GM, my phone is, the phone, my ears are open. I'm listening to everybody. I'm listening to everybody. I'm listening to everybody because I can easily slide down and make some move and add the pieces that I need because I don't need a quarterback. So, this is when them GMs need to start wheeling and dealing, and Pittsburgh look like they need to be, one of them teams with, that's in the runnings for the, Caleb Williams. And I just mentioned, I think the Cowboys should go after him too. I truly do. I truly do. And this is what the problem was. Truth be told, like I said, as long as they winning, y'all go hear me. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk my smack. How about them Cowboys and this, that, and the other thing? When they winning, I'm always gonna do that. It's not gonna stop. But realistically, I felt like, honestly, I think they overachieved. And the reason why I say they overachieved, I thought the season was toast once Trayvon Diggs went down. And this is the conversation that I had with one of my colleagues, one of my bros here, the Lion fan. When we had this discussion, we talking about, and I said I'm not making excuses, but the Cowboys need defensive tackles. Though they picked up Massey Smith from the that was their number one selection from the Michigan Wolverines last year, D tackle. He didn't really pan out too well this year, so they was getting toe off in the run. And linebacker help they need. My man Vanderleest or whatever, man, he's the new Sean Lee there, stay injured. He can't stay on the field. They was playing with backup linebackers. Like I said, when Diggs went down, you had Bland, who's the nickel, slide over to the starting corner. And I'm gonna be honest with you too, it looked like my man Gilmore then lost the step. I don't see him being in the Cowboy uniform next year. He wasn't looking like his Stephen Gilmore, his Stephon Gilmore regular self. I wasn't really feeling that. So, like I said, we missing Diggs. I don't think Gilmore is the Gilmore that he used to be any longer. And lots of times when you have when you missing players, like I said, we had this argument, this debate or whatever, and wasn't making excuses. But one of the things, the first thing to come up for everybody, I always say next man up. Next man up. Everybody say next man up. And let's just keep it 100. That's what I'm talking about. No fan. Let's keep it 100. Well, you can't I'm not making excuses, but next man up. So we can say next man up, but that's just one of the motivational type cries, man. Everybody say that. This is just what you go say. Because realistically, the next man ain't the first man because the first man is better than the next man. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And then if you do have a next man that's capable or is just as talented or right on that level of that first man, how long do you keep that guy? Because he not staying. Your next man realistically is not as good as your first one. And if he is as good as your first one, then you won't keep him. You won't have him too long. He'll be moving on to different greener pastures where he can be the first man instead of the second man. So let's leave that out the window. We toss that crap out the window. It ain't no next man up. So when you miss some pieces, and it hampers your team and everybody. You see that everywhere. That's like Frisco when Debo not around, they don't look as good as they look when Debo not there. It's just that simple. Okay, so Cowboys need some linebacker help, need some defensive tackle help. Like I said, I felt that they overachieved just simply because, like I said, the season was done for me. When you take out a Trayvon Diggs, a cornerback of his stature, that changes how the defensive coordinators go call certain things. You know what I'm saying? Things get changed a little bit. They go start changing how they do things. You have to start ad-libbing and start making things kind of disguise your misfortunes or your kind of hide things. I remember when the Cowboys had my man, what his name, defense, that safety, my man, he's calling Biscuit Williams, played for Texas. His first season or two, man, he was the man. You know what I'm saying? But jury had got out that he couldn't cover in space, man. So they did so many things trying to, I think once it got, just blatantly there, everybody had started paying attention to it. They tried to disguise it by changing his number, but that didn't help any. He was still getting toasted. So just to be honest with you, I'm explaining how I'm feeling about it. Where it was, yeah, they was overachieving, and the secret, the cat came out the bag, and they got they what handed to them. And I think it started off with the Buffalo game. The Buffalo, when Buffalo exposed it, they had no way of handling that run, which led to the way my man Quinn called this game against Green Bay. Dallas played a lot of zone, which they usually don't do. And as you can see, my man from the Green Bay Packers, what was his name? What's that young man name? What was his name? He had when I tell you he had a career day, he had a career day. Was it Romeo Dobbs? Yes, Romeo Dobbs out of Nevada. Oh my goodness. He had a career day. He was open all day. You know, he was open all day, and there was a lot of busted coverage because them guys play more zone. I mean, they play more man to man than they play zone, and they look like fish out of water. And then let's switch over to the offensive side of the ball. And I mentioned earlier, I would love the Cowboys to get into the sweepstakes with Caleb Williams. And I'm not gonna say Dak can't perform in big games because he, some of the biggest games that they needed him to perform in early this year, he was playing on MVP level with no problems. But for some reason, when it becomes playoff time, man, when the game get bigger, I don't know. I don't even really want to say he choked, but I think he had tunnel vision, man, and he's not going through his progressions, and I think he's too busy trying to force feeding CD Lamb. And I had been saying this all year, or early in the year since they started, since the Buffalo game or whatever game was. He went to the coach. CD Lamb went to the coach and asked him what can he do. He wanted the ball a little bit more. We didn't ask for the ball, but it's like he was tunnel vision, man. And that's why he almost got. I think he got picked off when trying to hit CD Lamb. And was force feed. You got other receivers, and he's not looking for him, and he's getting not going through his progressions. And I'm really not feeling that. So it's not that he don't perform in a big game, but he hasn't been able to perform in the bigger game. So at this particular stage, I think it's about that time to kind of move on. Something similar to what they did with Tony Romo. Tony Romo came up short too, just the same in the bigger games, And they did bring the young man over from the 49ers. I'm not sure how long or how ready he may be, but like I said, I wouldn't mind being in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. So you had Dan Quinn out there trying to disguise their misfortunes, trying to attack the run by putting a little zone in so they can try to stop that run. Green Bay still did a great job of running the ball though too, just the same. So they got a lot of stuff to work on. Never was a big Mike McCartney fan. From the word go, I didn't really care for him when he was coaching in Green Bay. I think he and we said next man up is considered. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do. Yeah, next man. It's nothing wrong with the concept, okay. But when we having a real discussion, if we go have a true non-fan, non-groupie, non-slappy discussion about it, the next man up is not as good as the first man. I mean, just realistically, what you just hoping, that's just like, I'm the starting quarterback, and my number one receiver go down, and they stick the mic in my face, and I'm like, well, we got John Johnson coming in behind, it's next man up, and so, and that's that motivational thing. It's a motivation type of thing. You motivate, trying to motivate that player to step up and step in. Something similar to what my man Bland, the DB for Dallas did. He was next man up, and he stepped in the dig spot, and he's been performing fairly decent. But in the same token, that's another thing about the Cowboys. For those who don't really follow the Cowboys like I do, they the most penalized team in the NFL. So that's a lack of discipline, and it's been like that for some years now. Not just this season, but for for seasons past too, just the same. So that first drive against Green Bay, well, it would have been a 3-and-out, but my man Bland got caught holding. And at that point, the rest was history at that particular point. So it's like I said, if we want to discuss this, like same scenario where the Cowboys and the Lions played the week previous to that, and you got a lot of people still upset about this missed call or no call or a bad decision by the referees and different things like that. It was like that have been their W. They'd have been vying for the but it was 23 seconds left on the clock. And Cowboys got a place kicker that can put, he got a nice leg on him. Okay, so that game wasn't over. Now I think they still had at least two, maybe 3 timeouts. So that game wasn't really over, per se. So, and then here again, I had to talk to a fan, and they want to say, "Well, we won." No, you didn't win. Well, you can't win when you got time on it. When the opposing team still got time on the clock. But that's an if scenario, right? And I posed a similar if scenario. Had CeeDee Lamb not fumbled the ball through the end zone, that puts Dallas up 14-3, and they already known put up scoring high. They put up average 40 points in they at home. They 14-3, and that means Detroit got to turn around and call a different game now. They got to play catch up. So that's the if game. So I don't have no problems with the discussing these things and different things like that. It's not excuses, but don't I think my man wanted to play semantics with me. I don't count that. I was doing a play. The referees is not, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. We go discuss it. Let's discuss it for real. Like I said, if we start this podcast, we go have a nice, intelligent dialogue. We can talk that stuff. Oh, we still can talk the stuff, but it's got to make sense. Make it make sense. So again, like I said, I think it's time, they brought my man Lance over, going into the spring or whatever, when practice start. I think it's, and like I said, I would try to see if I can maneuver my way up there to get my man, but I think it may be time for Dak and the Cowboys to part ways. But in the same token too, what he was missing, my man Pollard took over for Zeke after they let Zeke go. He wasn't half the rusher that he was while Zeke was there. That was a good 1-2 punch when both of them played together. You know what I'm saying? I think the Cowboys missed Zeke. They also missed Amani Cooper, because it took Dak a minute to find that trust in another receiver. That's what from the beginning of the year, and he found it in Lamb, and then he just went overboard with it. Stopped, Gallup wasn't getting nothing, Tober wasn't getting, it's just ridiculous. He had tunnel vision, and like I said, Jerry made a mistake and didn't want to pay Amari Cooper, man. I thought they should have kept him too, just as well. So like I said, I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you exactly, what it is. I ain't got no problems with it. They took an L. Next year, we got to wait and see what's going on. And you got the other teams to move on. And what was so funny about it, though? Ironically, Cowboys lost. As soon as they lost, man, and this is real talk. Just real talk. I just, for some reason, man, I just automatically, I'm like, man, I don't rock with the Lions. I really don't. But just keeping it 100, I really wouldn't mind seeing them, move advance as far as they can, possibly advance. And like I told, me and my son, we talk a lot about, as a Lion fan, we talk about this a lot. I think they do have a dark chance or outside chance of making it to the Super Bowl. I'm just being honest about it. This is not no bandwagon. Trust me, you won't see me in no Honolulu blue or no gray jerseys and nothing like that. No ball caps, none of that. It won't be any of that. But this is no fan, dude. That's what we do here. We talk. This is real talk. So what I'm looking at the Lions, I'm looking at, but the only problem that I do have with them is they just one-sided. They don't have, the balance is not there, that, and this is what I was trying to discuss with one of my colleagues earlier today. The balance is not there for me to give them that full tilt. And what I mean by that, I think the offense is light years ahead of the defense. The defense got some of the same similar problems that the Dallas Cowboys have. Soften the defense from front in the middle. The D need some D tackles in there. They had a chance to get Jalen Carter. I'm still going to talk about that. I think they, the guy McNeil, I like him. He does make a little noise, but he's not a one. He's not a one. He's more of like a 1A or a 2. Put another defensive tackle next to him or another defensive end on the other side outside of Hutchinson, because right now the Lions is Hutchinson and nothing. If he don't get there, ain't nobody getting there. And that's gonna hurt them. You gonna need you gonna need more pass rush, going to these next levels. And also, I think the linebackers are lacking. They're lacking speed. Matter of fact, the defense overall on the defensive side of the ball is just lacking speed, period. And they showed when they played the Baltimore Ravens. Okay. So, and it very well, they haven't played yet, but unless they lay an egg, it looked like it's Baltimore's Super Bowl trophy to win. And ain't nobody else close. Okay, so I think they lack in there. That gentleman Sutton, that I think he came over from Pittsburgh, bruh. Let me see if y'all follow me on this. The University of Michigan used to have this guy that played wide receiver for them way back in the day. Way back in the day. Named Anthony Carter. AC, that's what we called him. And the guy, and he played for the University of Michigan when they really wasn't even a passing team. It was more run dominant when Bo was the coach. So, and he wore that number 1. Man, AC, and this is just maybe my opinion. Well, no, it is just my opinion. But if the folks outside of there really truly understood it, I don't think that number 1 should be worn by. I think too many people frivolously place that jersey on their back. They not number 1s. There's only other person I say had all due respect. He was very capable of wearing the number 1 and he represented well was Warren Moon. Them the only 2 people that I ever seen wear the number 1 on any level, college level or professionally, that belong in that jersey. My man Sutton need to take that jersey off. I don't know if he wore that college or, they was just trying to be cute. Him and Gardner Jones 1-2. He need to take that off because he's getting toasted back there. Okay. So what you got now, something similar. Aaron Glenn is doing the same thing that Dan Quinn was doing with Dallas. You disguise some of your misfortunes by, you shooting like what Dan was doing. He, like I say, we played a lot of man to man. They pretty hell of a man to man. You can let that pass rush go. But with Aaron Glenn, you got to do the run blitz and disguise a lot of stuff because they slow back there. But the Detroit fan, the groupie and the sloppy, they ain't gonna talk about that. They not go see that. They not go understand that. They not go accept that as the possibility. Right now, it's just are we going to the Super Bowl as far as they're concerned? Like I said, I have no problem talking, but come on, can we talk for real? Can we have a real conversation? We can stuff talk, but can it be real? So they playing Tampa Bay this coming week. I think they handled Tampa Bay fairly well, early in the season. No big deal. And right now I'm really picking them to go forward. I see the Lions in the NFC Championship game. I do see them in the NFC Championship game because they should be. I don't foresee them having any problems or don't think they should have any problems beating Tampa Bay. But here's the thing too, though. They only won by a point against the Rams. And that's because the defense is, like I said, the offense is here, defense is here. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be the problem. That's gonna be the problem. Can your defense stop, the opposing team? That, and we got to hold Jeff Bodine, Dan Campbell, and some of them old retarded ass fake punts, going for it on 4th and 3 at your 20, all that kind of stuff that they that a lot of people been calling like being aggressive. It's not aggressive, it's being stupid, and he started doing that when he took over play calling duties after they fired my man Anthony Lynn, the the head, I'm sorry, the offensive coordinator that he had when he first got into the, became the Lions head coach, and they fired. He was the fall guy for that dismal first season. Well, Anthony Glenn, and let's just keep it 100, and that's what we do here. We we stay on code no matter what, and we always keep it a buck. We know that an offensive coordinator, a black offensive coordinator, came fake punt like Campbell called against Cowboys when they played at his on a 30, and it was nothing analytically said that was correct thing to do, and then it gets written off as being aggressive. No, that was stupid, and it was stupid, and I blame the special team coach for the Dallas Cowboys and the player who let that play go by. Everybody you should know you should have been ready. You should have been waiting on that. Fortunately for the Lions, they went. It was completed and extended the drive or whatever. But you got Lynn couldn't have done that. Anthony Lynn couldn't do that. He couldn't dare do anything like that. Black coaches in the NFL outside of Tomlinson, man, you on eggshells. Your mistake factor, your loss factor, all that stuff is really shortened. Who was that? My man Steve Wilkes got one and done over there in Arizona. Back in the day, my man Rhodes got one and done in Green Bay. That ain't enough time to get things straightened out, and you can't dare make that type of decision. You know what I'm saying? So, Campbell took over and he started gambling like that. And I was like, to me, I felt he was doing it because he's trying to save his job. So now he's just reaching for anything. But you can't ride that wave and call it and call it being aggressive, because it's not aggressive. It's being dumb. That's just being stupid. Would you say that, Reg? Let me see. Hold on, 29. Where we at? Hold on. Hold on. Lost. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. They suspect. Like I said, what's the name? Sutton, not that guy. He been getting beat. He been getting beaten. Like I said, if Hutchinson don't get to the quarterback, ain't nobody else getting there. It's Hutchinson or nothing, and that's gonna hurt them. Moving forward. So let's just say they get through. I can't see them as much as I want to see them. I wouldn't mind seeing them in the Super Bowl. This is where I'm from. I'm from Detroit. But I'm just being honest and like I said, and being, keeping it 100. I don't see them beating San Francisco. If San Francisco goes on to beat what's the name? I don't see them winning. Let me see. That's it. If Frisco beat the Packers, I just don't, and Detroit wins, that'll be the NFC Championship game. I just don't see them beating San Francisco. Not with that defense. Not with McCaffrey running like he running, Debo doing what he do. I don't see them beating them. Their defense is really, really lacking in that aspect of it. So that's what we gonna need to do. So next season, though, I don't want the season to end right away, but I'm really excited. Like I said, I don't rock with the Lions, but I am excited to see where they go or what type of draft picks that they're capable, or free agents or whatever moves they make moving forward, because they got to get their defense caught up with their offense, because their offense is here. And for all you Lion fans that may be tuning in or hear this later or whatever the case, get a chance, go to No Fan TV 20 over there, YouTube, hit the like, subscribe, and button or whatever. So, and then you can leave your comments and all this kind of stuff. But you got to get that defense caught up with the offense. And like I was getting ready to say, for all you Lion fans, when they take L's or my man Goff have a bad day, listen here, Jared Goff is not the problem, man. I think the Lions, you got up on that flip-flop, that trade. You got a younger quarterback that's already played in the Super Bowl, and he's been playing well for the Lions the whole time he's been here. I mean, he's been playing lights out. So you won on that. The run game is outstanding. My man, I think Montgomery is showing us something a little bit different than he showed in Chicago. And I think that's because he's being pushed by my man Gibbs about that. But that's a 1-2 punch that's really, I still prefer Gibbs being the starter, be honest with you. But it's working for them. You receiver, St. Brown, good slot receiver. He good go-to guy, go catch that ball, hard worker, grinder, all that. You good. Reynolds and Goff played together in Los Angeles. You see the connection is still good. On that side, it's clicking. My man Porter, I didn't like when they let go of Hutchinson and let him go to the Vikings, but I guess they had something on his mind. And Laporta came in and stepped, broke a rookie record. Looks good. Oh, let me say this too. Donovan Peoples-Jones. I don't understand why they went and got him. And I don't foresee him being on the team next year either. I think he's drastically overrated. He was overrated to me at Michigan, the whole deal. But I ain't finna rag on the young man. But anyway, the offense is great. Offensive line, if not the best, one of the best in the NFL. The offense is clicking. Now you got to get your defense caught up with the offense. You have to. So you got rid of the Bobby Layne curse. The curse is over. You winning. Bobby Layne, 1957. I think it was his last season after they won or whatever. I think he broke his leg or something like that, and they ended up trading him. And he cursed the team. Supposedly, don't nobody know if this really truly what he did or whatever, but supposedly it was a curse, and they hadn't won anything. This is one of the original teams in the NFL, yet to be at the Super Bowl. They have championships, but not Super Bowls. And this is a perfect chance. This is a chance. But I'm gonna say this before I go to need that Ben Johnson. Is that his name, the offensive coordinator? Need him to stay. I put a post out earlier. I was like, enjoy the ride while you can. But I think he just interviewed with Seattle or something like that. And to be perfectly honest with you, I can't be mad at him. I'm sure if whatever interview, whichever team says that, come on through, I'm pretty sure he's going to take that job because most offensive coordinators are potential head coaches anyway, and most of them want to be a head coach. And I don't see any reason for him not, No, I don't. I just seen that. My bad. I just seen that. No, I don't. I don't think Campbell's a great coach. No. What he is a great motivator. And his attitude, his attitude and his work ethic has rubbed off on the players. And see, that's the thing too. When you building teams, you need to learn how to win. You need to build. It's got to be like an attitude. It's got to come along well before the W's. Well before the W's get there, you start getting that attitude, and you understand you got to learn how to win and everything. And people take on the attitude of their coach, and I think he's a great that's how he played. He used to be a Cowboy tight end too. Work hard. Good motivator. But as far as a great coach, no, I don't consider him a great coach. I think he's an idiot. Be honest with you. That's why I call him Jeffro Bodine, double not spy. Not plus not plus not equal double not. I just think he, like I said, when they put the prime example, like I said, when they played Dallas, I think it was 4th and whatever. They was on their 30, and he fake punted. They luckily, they made the first down. They got the first down. I had no problems with that. They got the first down, but I blame the defense. I mean, those players that was on, the coaches for the Cowboys who, Campbell, he do stuff like that, which is idiotic. I'm gonna put it like this. You got a lot of that stuff going on now. You got a lot of teams and a lot of coaches, going for it on 4th down more often, going for it on fourth down in places that usually they wouldn't go for it on fourth down. And I call this the PlayStation Xbox generation. You know, last time I played one of them computer games, man, where they had it was 3-button Sega, man. For the, I don't know if you young folks, they may not have seen that 3-button Sega, but that was the last time I played like video games and 3-button Sega. And all these little video games had these little glitches in them or whatever. But um, the folks that I used to play, we set these little parameters, little rules out, like fourth and such and such, unless you down and it's the order fourth quarter, you don't go fourth and 30, fourth and 60, and you just don't do that stuff. And that's the way these coaches nowadays, that's what they doing. They doing some real crazy ass stuff, and it's being disguised and as being aggressive. And I don't see it that way. I just think it's idiotic, and he's gotten away with it. So as far as Campbell being a great coach, no, I don't think he's a great coach. I think he's a decent coach, but he's going to have some great people around him. And I think realistically, if they lose Johnson, that OC, that's going to set them back again, because I don't think they'll be able to find somebody. Not sure who they be. I ain't gonna say they can't find nobody, but they would definitely need to find another offensive coordinator like him, or somebody that has a great philosophy, because I don't think Campbell can, he won't be the brains behind leading them to the next level. But just so we know, we'll go ahead and do these picks real quick when we get us out of here. I got the Ravens over the Texans. I like the 49ers over the Packers. And I do actually like the Lions over the Buccaneers. I see the Lions in the NFC Championship game. Only thing that I'm asking that they don't do, they played in the NFC Championship game before 91. And this was, and then, ironically, it's funny too, because they had beat the Cowboys, blew the Cowboys out. But then they turned around, went to the championship game, and they played the Washington Redskins, and the Washington Redskins handed them what. So I'm just hoping the performance is different. But I do see them making it to the NFC Championship game. So I am picking the Lions on that. And for some reason, I got the Chiefs over the Bills. And I like the Bills, but it's something you just can't. That Mahomes, man, unless he break his arm, or he's sick, he ain't playing. I got the Chiefs. I just like what they do, and I like Andy Reid. I always liked him as a coach. So yeah, those are my selections, man. And kudos to those around here. Everybody celebrating the Lions. And like I said, I'm just being honest. Like I said, I ain't no fan, but I just keep it 100. I really do see them. I see them handling Tampa, and I see them playing in the NFC Championship game. I see the NFC Championship game in their future, man. Hats off to them. But once this season is over with, NFC Championship game, or even if they go to the Super Bowl, they can go to the Super Bowl win. I still want to see what they do with them selections going into next year. So yeah, fellas, my Cowboys lost. I take it with a grain of salt. Can't win them all. I'm ready for some changes. I definitely wouldn't mind a head coach change. And like I said before, I want to get into that Caleb Williams sweepstakes. Let's see if we can get in there. There's no excuses, man. Dak, I think he didn't have enough, unchallenged starting. You know what I'm saying? It's time to kind of give him something to think about now, because he performed in a big game, but them bigger games, he just keep coming up short, man. And it's time to change that. Oh, Jerry ain't getting no younger. It's them Cowboys. Hey, and listen here, man. All you cats out here, just how about the Lions? How about them Packers? How about them Bucks? How about whoever? It ain't that don't belong to nobody but the Cowboys. Just so y'all know, Jimmy Johnson just gave you a nice full dose of it the other day. Get your own catchphrase. Be original. You know what I'm saying? And for you cats out here that's just hounding me on Facebook, text, calling me, all that kind of stuff. Act like what y'all used to tell me about that Barry Sanders stuff. You know how Barry just used to get a ball to the ref. Act like you've been there before. Act like you've been there before. And act like you've been there before. Just get a ball to act like you've been there before. I don't need to hear all that. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, you know what? I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, that too. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And actually, Dak is not just the cap space too, man. You know, he up for a contract, and they was about to tear him off. I mean, just to be perfectly honest with you too, though. I mean, if they keep him, he stick around. I don't have no problems with that either. But we got to have a conversation. You know, you need to go talk to somebody. You know, go talk to Aaron Rodgers or something, or you need somebody to help. You know, we got to go through them progressions, man. We got to go through them progressions. We can't get that tunnel vision. Let's move the ball all over the place. You know, let's get some people involved. And we got more players than CeeDee Lamb, you know. So he is due for a new contract extension. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they paid him either, though. He can't, because realistically, because of where they place, it'd just be too much. Aside for the Caps, $59 million hit, it'd be hard maneuvering getting up there to get anybody, to replace him anyway. So that's just wishful thinking, more or less. I'm just hoping maybe he work on some more things in the offseason. But I do think by him missing Amari Cooper, it took him a minute, to get comfortable in there, find his new guy. Still didn't use Brandon Cooks. I don't think they use Brandon Cooks as much as they should have. But that's on Dak. You got to spread that ball out, man. But then again, too, Stafford get tunnel vision, and Cooper Cup, and it worked for them. But I just think Dak need to broaden his horizons a little bit, But yeah, like I said though, good luck to the Detroit Lions. I see them beating Tampa. And so you got one more game at home. Then you get on the road, get out there to San Francisco. More than likely, if San Francisco win, it'd be funny though if San Francisco get popped and then Green Bay have to come to Detroit. Man, I think these folks around here probably lose their damn mind. For real. Have a celebration before a celebration even need to be celebrated. You dig what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Bubba. Y'all don't know Bubba. Bubba was that guy standing on top of that car that they burnt up when the Tigers won the World Series back in '84. I think he passed. Rest in peace, Bubba. Oh, and let me say this too before I go. I'm about to leave here. I want to say shout out to two super Lion fans, colleagues, co-workers, and they're great Lion fans, man, but they no longer with us. And I'm not one for they looking down type of thing. I wish they was actually here to actually be able to witness some of the stuff that's going on, because the conversations that we would have, the smack talk would be phenomenal. May you rest in peace, my man Roots and my man 40, man. May y'all rest in peace. I wish I was here to witness this stuff, man. But like I say, I go by New, man. I'm your host. Appreciate you, bro. I'm your host. I go by New, just a simple NEW, born and raised here on the corner Tuxedo and Webb. And we go get back at you, man. If you get a chance, like I said, get over there, hit the like button, subscribe button, notification button. If you didn't get a chance to catch the show live, leave a comment. Let me know you heard, and day late, dollar short. And we can share that dialogue. Like I said, man, I don't mind the stuff talk. I don't mind you plugging up all my DMs and all that kind of stuff. But can we have some real dialogue? I ain't no fan. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.